Hi, I'm Martin and welcome to Turtle JavaScript. JSON Web Token, JWT, is a current standard for implementing authorization as a result of authentication in your web application. Basically, you sign in to a web app or even a mobile app, and as a result you will receive a cryptographically signed token that says that you are allowed to use the service. That is very similar to a common session management, where you sign in and receive a cookie with a session ID that allows a web server to identify you and give you access. So what is really the difference? Both approaches start with authentication, but what happens on the server is quite different. With common session management, the server loads users' information from the database, creates a session that is stored on the server, and sends the user a cookie with session identifier. Because of the stored session, this approach is considered to be stateful. This is a very common client-server architecture for any website on the internet. JWT is more common for microservices. Authentication is processed by an authentication microservice that either produces an access token or an identity token. The token is cryptographically signed by a private key that ensures the authenticity and tamper-proofing of the JSON data. The token can hold an identifier of the user, token subject, or claims about the user. No session is needed to be stored on the server. This way the JWT is considered to be stateless. On the client side, the next step is also different. The session cookie is automatically handled by the browser and always sent to the server with every subsequent request, so that the server can maintain the session going. All of this is well supported and requires minimal code development. JWT, on the other hand, requires your client to have its own logic of storing and forwarding the token with requests to the services. On the side of the server, each protected service needs to verify the JWT and use its own logic to authorize the user. All of this requires experience on the side of code development. This is the first difference between these approaches. Session management is stateful and requires the server to maintain a session with the user. JWT is stateless based on the token being used as a proof of the user's identity and/or authorization. JWT gained popularity because statelessness made it easier to design independent services without having to deal with shared session management. However, there are solutions for managing sessions with each cloud provider, whether it's Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, or Google Cloud. If you want to make session management work with distributed architecture, you can. JWT is generally considered to be a more secure solution than common session management. I would consider this to be highly debatable. Both approaches have their strong and weak points, and you have to make compromises to account for user convenience. So you need to really look to find a strong argument for one solution to be secured over the other, especially when using standard libraries that take a good care of standard security weak points. For a simple website, it is far easier to implement standard session management, which is well supported by libraries on the server and cookie management in the browser. JWT is much harder to implement and requires an experienced team to make a well-architectured secure solution, even when using products like Auth0. On top of what we have already discussed, the JWT solution also needs to consider the choice of encryption, management of encryption keys, management of refresh tokens for silent authentication, and potentially challenging token invalidation. There is another video coming that will discuss exactly these topics. I would not consider classic session management dead. I would even recommend it, unless you can justify JWT bio-distributed architecture and its benefits. And because JWT is a challenging but exciting topic, look for my other content that is coming to my channel. See you with the next video and have a nice day.